Seth is back with more little things.
The listener top 5 attractions at Universal Orlando.
And the complete guide to everyone's favorite attraction, Fast and Furious Supercharged.
This is episode 563 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle, your host for today.
You can tell someone's new.
Yeah, that stranger that just popped up out of the blue. Yeah, stranger danger. Be careful with him and his stroller walking around the park. Is the fabulous Brian Cooper. Hello, Brian.
Well, thanks for fabulous. That's very nice, Michelle.
You better do my wife justice, sir.
I will do my best.
Which means you have to support me and be the estrogen on the team, Brian. Mm-hmm.
Lee fills that gap in, so it's fine.
No, Lee
does
not fill the gap in when it comes to being on my side.
Of course not.
No. That gentleman, the two gentlemen you just heard are, of course, Lee Malaby.
She still referred to me as a gentleman, though, so I'll take that. Hello, everyone.
Okay. And Christopher.
Uh-oh, full name.
How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
It's fun to be here. Until I heard everybody mention Fast and Furious, so I'm a little on edge.
I'm a little worried where this is going to go to be honest.
Too.
Starting to get a little bit lonely now.
Are you? Yeah. Tracy's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll have news, so I'm sure everyone wants to know how she's getting on. She is having the time of her life. I am incredibly jealous at this point. But plans are in place, so this is relevant to the podcast. Her flights to Japan are booked. She will be going next Friday through, I think, Tuesday. She's visiting some place I've never heard of. She's going to Kyoto for a couple of days, and she is going to Osaka and spending one day at Universal Japan. And what a nightmare. For anyone that hasn't visited Universal Japan, it is nothing like Orlando. There are no express passes available on the day that she goes.
Like sold out?
Gone. Nothing, right? And their express passes are so different to Orlando. Jeez. You've got two options in Orlando, obviously. The one use or the unlimited. There's about 10 different options that cover like 4 rides or 7 rides. Or there's like a 4-ride one that'll cover Mario Kart and the Flying Dinosaur and Hollywood Dream and Jaws. But it'll only do Hollywood Dream or Jaws, not both of them. But anyway, there's none available for the day that she's there.
I would be interested to see the pricing schedule for that, because I think it kind of works where like I don't care to have express for everything, but I care for this specific ride.
So I think
then you're getting very similar to Genie Plus, which is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah. So it's like it's costing her about $90 to get in, and then the express passes range from about $48 up to like $108. But it's like how many rides you pick, and then like as I say, only very specific ones. Like her worry at the moment is getting into Super Nintendo World, because it's obviously going to be busy when she's there, and it's timed entry only. Mm-hmm. So if you don't happen to get on that thing right first thing, then you're not getting in. So she's kind of stressed over that a little bit. But she's going. Is
it like a reservation system?
Yeah, it's like when Hogsmeade first opened and you had to get like that ticket. It's like that.
Okay.
So I like the Grinch.
In the app?
Yes, I think it's in the app. I was talking to a producer club member of ours, Richard Ives, who was there like a couple of months ago, kind of picking his brains, and he said they might have express passes like day of, but the only thing that's going in her way at this point is a lot of the rides have single rider, and she's going on her own, so
that's good.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, so is
she going on a weekend?
She's going on a Monday or a Tuesday. Surprisingly enough, the weekend either side, express passes are available.
Well, then she should change her date.
That's what I'm thinking.
She can't. Yeah. That's the problem.
Go twice.
That too.
So it is what it is. I don't care.
That's so cool.
I don't care.
He doesn't want
I don't care. I'm not going, so she gets what she gets. She's just going to single ride a Jaws all day long anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how much like Lee is just happy for other people? It's just like don't care about this.
That's actually Tracy.
Mhm.
Actually, does sound like a. It is a.
Please tell me you have the UUOP soundboard.
Have this.
Scratchy face.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
this is great. This is going to be an awesome
No,
episode
it's
now. I'm
not.
so excited.
Anyway, so I'm going to get her to record some bits while she's there, and then I'll probably sit down with her at some point when she comes home and do like a proper sit down chat about it. But it's cool. I can't believe she's the first one out of the four of us that's getting to visit a park outside of the US.
I love it. I cannot wait to hear what she says about it.
I can believe that she's the one that's doing those countries because
Specifically
that's her
because of
jam.
its
Very
yeah.
true.
location. But aside from that, I get what Lee's trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But she's having an absolute blast. I am so I wasn't bothered when she went. Now I'm seeing pictures of it and stuff. It looks such an amazing city, Seoul. It really does.
Good for her. I'm proud of her for being brave
Me
and
too.
going and
Yes.
doing something like that by herself. That takes a lot.
It does. I mean, she's not entirely by herself. She's got friends over there. I know we mentioned Grace, producer club member and friend of the podcast. She went to Lottie World with her and a friend a couple of weeks ago. It feels like a lifetime ago that she went, and it was only like 3 weeks ago.
God, I can't believe she's been gone there already that long.
I know. Anyway,
Flying by.
it's not
It
flying
can't fly
by.
by quick enough, I'm sure.
It really isn't. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so busy. I'm going to be back before you know it." And I'm like, "It's been 3 weeks. It feels like a lifetime."
Aw. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
That's what they say.
We shall see, huh? All right. Well, speaking of absence and somebody returning, let's hear some little things from Seth.
Hi, this is Seth Kuberski. I've been away for a while, working on the next edition of the Unofficial Guide to Disneyland. But now I'm back at Universal Orlando, and I've got more than a month's worth of little things to catch up on. If you're planning a trip to Universal this summer, they've got some great deals going right now on tickets. If you buy a one-day ticket as a Florida resident, you get 2 days for free. If you're not a resident, you can buy a 2-day pass and get 3 more days for free. The special is running until early August. Heading into the parks, Universal Studios Florida has finished the turnstile work on the right half of the entrance. That side is now open with the new turnstile scanners. Now work has switched over to the left side of the entrance, which is currently closed off. As we walk inside Universal Studios Florida, you can see lots and lots of progress has been made on Minion Land, including the new sign for the land. Construction has been completed on the Minion Mayhem facade, which needed repairs, and more detail has been added to VillainCon. Plus, there is lots of detail added to the new Minion Cafe, including a big cupcake up on top. The Betty Boop store right next to Minion Land is still selling Betty Boop merchandise, even though the Boop signage outside has been removed. But now you can also find some trendy Universal merch that was previously only available in Universal Hollywood. Right around the corner from there on Hollywood, the Jurassic Park 30th Anniversary Tribute Center is open. It's just spectacular, filled with lots of wonderful Easter eggs. I got to take a tour through there with one of the designers for Attractions magazine, and you could spend hours looking at all the details in there. Be sure to step out front and check out the sleeping Triceratops. She's been living at Give Kids the World for many years, but they brought her back and gave her a fresh coat of paint. I'm happy to report that her toenail, which was removed by a guest when she was first installed, has been replaced and repaired. If you're a fan of Jurassic Park, they also placed some vehicles from the film outside of the Cineplex to celebrate the original movie's 30th anniversary. And some characters like Dr. Hammond were spotted over the weekend taking photos there. Just across the street from the Jurassic Park store, in the Five and Dime and elsewhere throughout the resort, you can find Love is Universal merchandise throughout the month of June, celebrating Pride. There are rainbow-colored shirts and also rainbow-colored food, which I'm sad to report is not vegan. Continuing around the park, there is a new dance show being held outside Mel's Drive-In. It's got 50s-styled costumes with some modern remakes of classic songs. It's not currently listed on the daily show schedule, so ask an attendant around the restaurant when it might be happening. There's some paving work going on around Springfield that has blocked off access to some of the carnival games directly across from the entrance to the Simpsons ride. And I've noticed in both Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure, they've been placing planters around the test seats for attractions. This both gives guests some privacy when they are trying out the test seats and also prevents folks from using them as seating benches or as photo ops. All right, let's hop across to Islands of Adventure. In Seuss Landing, Circus McGurkus restaurant has been temporarily closed lately, and McElligot's pool near the entrance got a refurbishment. In Toon Lagoon, the refurbishment of the Popeye planter seems to be finished, and I noticed that all of the slides on Me Ship the Olive, some of which had still been closed after the last refurbishment, are now open and operational. And to close out the theme parks, I had recently heard a rumor that they were getting rid of the free VIP tours that are available at some attractions when staffing is available. I'm very happy to report that's not entirely true. I confirmed that they are still doing the studio tour at Jimmy Fallon, production tours at the Mummy, garage tours at Fast and Furious, bank tours at Gringotts, Gamma tours at Hulk, and castle tours at Forbidden Journey. The big change is that they have changed the staffing matrix and no longer have anyone available to do immigration tours at Men in Black. Unfortunately, that was kind of the original and best of these free tours. So I'll encourage you to do what the team members there encouraged me to do, which is go to guest services and say that you would like them to bring back the immigration tours. Finally, we are going to wrap this up with some good news if you are hungry at Universal. There have been some welcome changes to the online dining systems. The mobile order system in Universal's app now allows you to pick a time slot in which you pick up your food. Before, there was no way for them to know when people were coming to get their food, and there was frequently a long backup for mobile orders. Now you'll pick an available 15-minute time slot. I tested this out at Springfield's Fast Food Boulevard and got my food in just a matter of minutes. So it seems to definitely be an improvement, at least at those locations where you pick up your food from a window as opposed to having it delivered to your table. Also, restaurant reservations are available available directly inside Universal's app. Previously, they used a bunch of different services that were available through the website but were not easy to discover inside the app. Now there's a feature built right into the app that you can use to make your table service dining reservations throughout most of the resort. However, some hotel restaurants and third-party CityWalk restaurants still use their own systems. And last but certainly not least, some good news for vegans. The snack stand that recently opened at the very front of Universal Studios Florida has a great selection of vegan food, including a vegan hand pie, vegan brownies, and vegan snowballs with coconut. And if you happen to be staying over at the Royal Pacific, the island's dining room has a full new vegan menu. Most of the restaurants only have one or two options for vegans to choose from, but this has a full selection of appetizers, entrees, and desserts to try out. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this time. I'll be back in a couple more weeks with more little things from around the Universal Orlando Resort. In the meantime, you can check out my books at theunofficialguides.com. And until then, I'm keeping an eye on all those little things for you.
Yay.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, welcome back, Seth.
That was a lot.
Has anyone seen the stuff that's in that Universe store yet? Then?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. I have. I think it's kind of cool.
I like
it's
it.
not my style, but I like it.
Yeah.
In the tribute store?
No, so where the Hello Kitty store used to be at the front of the park.
Mm-hmm.
There's now,
And instead of like your normal theme park wear, it's kind of more like stylish, trendy, a little different twist on like a Jaws shirt, if you will. I like
I
it.
haven't seen that.
it's like a Universal branded stuff. It's Universe. It's UNIVRS. They had it out in Hollywood. It's now come over there. So it's like Brian said, it's like stylized Universal branded merch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I like it because we heard when they gutted that it was just going to be another generic Universal store, which was like, yeah, because we need another one right across the road from the one that's already there. Whereas I kind of like this.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. It looks like something the kids will like, as they say.
I mean, I'll take that. I'm 40 odd, but whatever. By the way, who's using those test seats as just like benches?
Oh,
everybody.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause they're
hardly
just hanging
ever.
out
Yeah, I
front of the
hardly
park.
ever see anybody just like actually using them to test if they'll fit.
Strange.
Yeah, I
it's like
remember
if you're
last
hanging
time.
around in front of the ride, a lot of kids just sit on it.
Yeah, we needed last time we were there. We needed to test it out, and we stood there forever just staring two little kids down. Like, come on, move your ass, let's go.
Ah, that's where parents should be doing their job.
Yeah, exactly. We did it for them. Don't worry.
Okay.
Do you guys remember? Speaking of the tribute store, do you remember when the Triceratops experience used to be over at Islands?
We've never
Yeah.
seen it.
Long time ago.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And when I
Yeah,
saw
it
that, I got a
was.
little misty-eyed. It was pretty cool.
I think it.
So
Yeah.
where is it sitting now? Just outside the tribute store?
Yeah.
Yeah, like right in front, in between like what used to be the magic store and the tribute store.
Okay.
Did you guys
Cool.
see that sign they put up? Somebody on the pass holder page, I think, posted a sign or a picture where they had to put a sign saying something along the lines of "This is not real" or "It's not a
Really?
real animal."
What?
Yeah.
Nah.
I swear to you, and I just briefly saw that. I didn't look too much into it. My only
Wow.
guess is like people thought animal cruelty or something. I'm not
right,
sure, but
which means somebody complained.
complained. Yeah,
Or
Or
is it
surely
dead
it was just to add to the
Triceratops?
like realness of it to make you think like this is kind of like a zoo. I don't know. That's weird.
yeah.
Who goes
I
to
mean,
a theme
doesn't
park and
surprise
sees
me.
a Triceratops and thinks, "Oh, there's a bit of animal cruelty going on here"?
Yeah,
Because
that's the
apparently
scary part.
somebody did.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody old
Wow.
enough to go to guest services complained about a dead dinosaur. Is what we're saying here.
Like, sir, you do realize they died over 3 million years ago.
Too soon.
Too soon.
It's such a
I was
shame.
sad about Circus McGurkus. I mean, the food
Really?
sucks, but I like going in there.
Oh yeah, I don't mind going in there, but I
Yeah.
wish they'd just do something with the. We've said just move the tater tots in there because that green
that'd
eggs
be
and ham
awesome.
thing can't cope with the demand when it's busy. So just move it in there.
Yeah, but if they can't get tater tots out in a reasonable time at a simple stand, imagine a restaurant full of people wanting tater tots. I'm not sure it'd get much better.
Yeah, that place
They
gets
just need to.
slammed
They
a
just need
lot.
to make that like a character dining experience because that was kind of a perfect setup for the Grinch breakfast.
Or follow the trend of like, you know, like the Minions Cafe getting ready to open up, like a full Seuss themed
Yeah.
restaurant would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be their signature place in that land, and they haven't really got one. Like, if you've got kids, that's where you're going,
Yeah.
and then taking them
Yeah.
in for crappy burgers and pizza.
It's just begging for some type of special experience in there.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
the
strange.
theming inside's really pretty.
Or I mean, they can just literally revamp the entire menu and put themed items in there.
Yeah,
That's what I would love to see. That's what I thought. Like when it first opened, that's what I expected.
Yeah.
But of course, it never was.
like a Minions Cafe or a Toad's Cafe over at
Mm-hmm.
Super Nintendo World. Yeah, it'd be ideal for it.
The only theme thing I ever saw is during the Christmas when they do, what is it, roast beast?
Well, all that.
The roast
To be
beef
honest, there
sandwich.
was a
Mhm.
lot of stuff when we
Mhm.
did the Grinch breakfast. A lot of it was themed stuff.
Well, no. I mean, but you have to go to the Grinch breakfast for that.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about just a
during the
regular.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You could have like an oobleck dessert, which is like a green Jello kind of thing. I mean, it would be really easy to do. People like
Oh yeah.
there's plenty of things to pull from in the Seuss world to make food out of.
For sure.
And just hire Tracy.
Well, I was just about to say something, but I don't want Brian stealing it, so I'm going to keep it under my hat for now.
No, say it, please.
No, you can come up with your own bloody podcast content.
Oh no.
Thanks. It's still yours.
To be fair, there's 500 episodes worth if you want to steal some of it.
I know. There's too much.
Disappointing about the immigration tour, by the way. It's the only one anyone wants to do, isn't it?
Right?
It really is the best.
Like, I'm going to humble brag now. I remember doing that before it was a thing. And it was cool.
Yeah, I remember doing it several years ago and thinking the more this gets out, the more likely it is we'll never be able to do it again.
Yeah.
And I guess we finally made it to that point.
I think it's a push to make people want to do like a VIP tour.
Right, because we did it during our RIP tour last year with Sonia.
See, that's weird because we
which was
didn't do it
cool.
in September. It's weird how they don't always. So, Michelle, did you go?
Well,
up,
we asked.
did you go up in Fallon?
Yeah.
What the? I
But,
see.
I mean, you can kind of do requests as long as it's open that night. You can. They gave us a choice of that or Lombards, and we said,
Wait, what?
We didn't get a
what?
choice.
Yeah, I'm
What's going
confused
on?
too.
We ended up
Come
with
on,
Lombards.
I was with you.
Yeah, we went to Lombards and Fallon. We didn't go down into Men in Black.
How is Lombards or Fallon and Men in Black an option? I don't understand the relation.
So
"No, not Men in Black is an option for the bar."
Oh,
You guys did Lombards and Fallon?
Yeah, we
Yes.
did both. Yeah. We had a few of our
There was
members of our group doing
tequila shots.
back-to-back tequila shots. So
No, the immigration tour was literally like we were all kind of chit-chatting about it, and a bunch of us had never done it before. And so the guide was like, well, okay, well, let's go do it.
yeah. So I mean, Lee, I'm sure if we would have asked, they would have done it, but
Probably.
I don't think I didn't care to do it at that time because
The thing is, if you like, surely Rich would know as Universal fans, if we wanted to go, if you're given the choice between Lombards or the immigration room at Men in Black, he would go immigration room every time, every single time.
Are there
I wish-
drinks?
Yeah.
They should put a bar down there at the immigration room.
I would just
Yes.
never leave the immigration
Amen.
room then.
Yeah,
I would
now
put
that would be
myself
cool.
down. Oh, that'd be the best.
Yeah, it's strange. So all of our listeners, next time you're there, go to guest services. I shouldn't say this because I'll get us into trouble. Oh, I don't care. Email
I'm gonna do
them,
it anyways.
I'm
tweet
doing it
them,
too.
DM them, go to guest services and request it back because it's... I haven't done any... Has anyone ever done any of the other ones? Because we haven't.
I've done the one at the Mummy.
Production
That's the next one we really want to do, and it's never available when we're there.
That I did as part of a VIP tour there.
Yeah, the
too.
only other one we've done was on the day we found out Twister was closing. We were there and we went and did the booth tour at Twister, which I feel quite pleased about.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, we were. It was quite lucky we were there the day they announced that it was closing. So, but we haven't done any of the other ones.
Yeah, the Mummy
We-
one's cool. We've done that one too.
We asked to do the Mummy tour during last HHN. No, not HHN. It was during Mardi Gras, and the guy said they were too busy at the moment. But if
Yeah.
we came back during the parade, that they would take us down.
Okay, it's just
So do they do things like that during the RIP tour?
no.
If you ask, and
You
it's
wouldn't
available,
get to
they
do a
will.
production tour during the Mummy. I would have thought. Would you?
Wait,
Why
you're
not?
asking whether they can or whether they would.
Whether they would.
I'm just, yeah.
I don't
If
see
it's
why
not on a non-private, I bet, but on a private, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
the RIP tour is just like a VIP tour. They're all the same guides, and they're the same ones that take us through all those
Exactly.
tours. So it's your time, right? You're paying for whatever you want there. You want to go ride this or do this house 20 times over, they'll do it, right?
Then
And
when
what
I,
helps is because your tour guide is authorized to do that by themselves.
Right,
You're
so
not
they don't need
taking
extra
away an
staffing.
employee.
Right.
Yeah, you're not
That's
taking
what I was
away a team member from the attraction.
then when I'm paying $400 to do an RIP tour, I'm not doing one of those production tours. To be fair,
That's
Once
exactly
I get
what
too
we're
afraid
saying.
and wet my pants, that might be all that I do for the nightly.
and you can stuff on your own. Then see ya.
But sometimes it's nice
we'll
to
leave
just
them at
go
the
sit-
Lombards bar.
I mean, it literally took us 15 minutes, and we were standing in the AC for a while, which felt nice.
Chris, how many
You know,
houses can
so
you
it was-
get through in 15 minutes on an RIP tour?
If they're like situated pretty close to each other.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'd say 3, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be some fighting this year.
Yeah, a lot of ECV scooters.
Hey, that sounds nice. The restaurants booking in the app. I know the last time we
Oh.
discussed this, it was a bit difficult to navigate. As Seth was talking about it, I pulled up the app and it seems much more user friendly and easy now.
And it's about time. I was so sick of bouncing back between the website
Yeah.
and restaurants
Yeah.
to make bookings while we were there. It was the worst.
Mhm.
Like literally, if you just go to dining and click on the list and go down the list, like Mythos, if you click on Mythos, it says dining reservation right there. And it takes you right to how many guests, choose
Yep.
your date, choose your time. Much easier now.
Did you see all the restaurants like City Walk?
Yep.
I didn't try all of them, but like they said, depends on if it's a third party restaurant, they might use a different app.
I wonder if simplifying this will make it harder to get reservations now.
It shouldn't. I booked Mythos for when we're over in for me and Tracy for our day that's going to be our anniversary, seeing as though she's away.
Oh,
I think.
And there was tons
Brian,
of availability.
Like Bubba Gump's, I know is a third party, and it does not have the option to book on here.
is anyone making reservations for Bubba Gumps?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
Every trip.
You do for real?
Every trip.
Whoops.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
I love bubblegum.
No, you don't. He's lying to you.
I am not lying to you. I've beaten a bubblegum at least 3 times.
I have never, since I have known you, heard about you going. and
I've never
eating
heard
at
this
Bubba
is
Gump's.
news to me too. Yeah, like if he's BSing right now, he's fantastic at
He's
it.
really
He
good
is.
at it.
No, we took the kids. I think we went with the kids when they were pretty young, and then we did a massive. If you go back and listen to one of our episodes,
They
we
were
recorded.
pretty young. They're grown adults now.
Right, 2015. We went there before. We've been there. I've been
Okay,
there.
that was
8
almost
years
10
ago.
years
Got
ago.
it.
I would not say that's one of your favorite restaurants.
Just because I've only been to Toothsome twice, and it's one of my favorite places. 3 times.
But have you been there on your recent trips?
Well, yeah, because I couldn't go 10 years ago because it wasn't there.
Don't you have some sound clip that you can insert from Tracy right about now, Brian? Because this is the perfect moment. Yes, shut your face. Thank you.
Just remember who's in control of all of this right now. I can do this thing on my own. That's fair.
Okay. Islands Dining full vegan menu. Have you eaten at Islands Dining, Brian?
Yes, you know he has. He was with us.
Good with- okay.
No, we have, honestly, our favorite Thanksgiving at Universal. We used to spend a lot of Thanksgivings at Universal, and our favorite Thanksgiving buffet is there at Islands Dining. It really is a good time.
We were surprised at how good the dinner was when we had it during the
I still
weekend.
think about that dinner.
When they set up for that Thanksgiving buffet, they have all the same stuff. They have like stir fry stations and all that in like different parts of the restaurant. And they have like 3 rooms of like traditional American Thanksgiving and then like islandy Thanksgiving stuff. And it was really top notch. They had characters around.
It was
And
expensive.
people were dancing. And it's a good time.
The Pew 2 went to one. There was one over there, an Easter one a couple of months ago, and I watched their vlog, and it was like $90 a person.
Yep.
I mean, we spend that much on cooking Thanksgiving meals at home, so that's really nothing.
We
did
don't
not
spend
feel
anything on
scammed
Thanksgiving
out of it
so
at
it's
all.
good.
It was well worth it. We were there for like 3 hours. I mean, we made the most of it. I promise.
That's cool. You're saying I need to do a Thanksgiving trip, is what you're telling me.
You 100% do, without a
Okay.
doubt.
Okay, cool. It's recorded for posterity and for convincing my spouse. Perfect.
There you go. Put it in the books.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, if you guys are ready to move on, shall we talk about some listener top favorite attractions?
Yes.
Can't wait.
Sweet. Okay. So we gave you our top 5 attractions at Universal Orlando a few episodes ago. Now it's time for the listeners' top 5.
I got some for my list. Kong at number 2. You're kidding me, aren't you?
Yeah,
I mean, it's your opinion, and I support you wholeheartedly in having it. I am there for you, Lee, but I completely understand getting for that because much like Bubba Gumps, I can't imagine you. A perfect day is having lunch at Bubba Gumps and going to ride Kong.
I think you'd be surprised. Kong is probably the ride I've ridden most on the last 3 trips, quite honestly.
Yeah, and then he hops over to Studios and gets on Fast and Furious. That's Lee's perfect day.
Brian had to like make sure Lee felt comfortable saying that because Brian, you're number 1. We know that one, and that's kind of a debatable topic.
It's not. No, that's not my number 1.
One of your favorites.
Yo, it's definitely my top 10 for sure.
Okay.
Actually, I can pull up my spreadsheet now and tell you where that's.
I
at.
can.
He's got a spreadsheet.
I've seen some of our listeners' top 5s, and you think mine was random. I'm not going to call any names, but wow, there was some interesting top 5s.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
This is a collated of all of them put together. It was quite difficult to try and figure out how to get everyone's random lists and put it into a definitive top 5, but I think I went about it the right way.
Actually, Chris, though, I just found it. My what you thought was my favorite. I assume you meant Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
That actually came in at. I was pretty low, even on my list. That came in around number 30.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty low.
Well, it was a very competitive list.
Okay.
So we asked everybody to send in their top 5 attractions. Lee somehow took those lists and condensed it down to a definitive listener top 5. So here we go.
Number 5, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man.
Coming in at number 4, this was a bit of a surprise to me, but a lot of people had it on their list, and a lot of people had it as their 1 or 2, to be fair. But coming at number 4, and that is the E.T. Adventure.
That makes my heart warm. Not gonna
It
lie.
does. We have a lot of nostalgic listeners. Number 3, which I think is pretty close to where I set this one, is Revenge of the Mummy.
I was happy to see it there because that number 3 is exactly where it came in on our family's list too. And I felt like maybe we were overhyping it, but I was happy to see other people agree.
Yeah, it's got some longevity to it. I like that.
Yeah. Number 2, we have the Jurassic World Velocicoaster.
Yes.
Not really a surprise there.
Couldn't debate that at all.
It saddens me that it's number 2.
Yes. People agree with me.
No, you didn't have it on your list at all.
No, I'm talking about the next one.
Yeah, so that brings us to number 1, which is obviously Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
So the way that I collated all this together is basically it was how many people had it in their top 5.
Oh, I like that. That's fair.
Because I'm trying to do it numbers wise, I couldn't figure it out. So it's like, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 separating Velocicoaster and Hagrid's. It was Velocicoaster was winning for the longest time.
I feel like those two are just very interchangeable between one.
I think so too. I agree with it being number 1 more than Velocicoaster because I think it appeals to far more people than Velocicoaster does.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just can't get on it as much though. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
Which one? The Velocicoaster or
Hagrid's.
Hagrid's?
It's always ridiculous wait times. Always.
Yeah, I mean, because
people
are less scared of it.
I don't necessarily. I'd be interested to see if more people a day ride Hagrid's than ride Velocicoaster, and I think you'd be surprised. I think it's just not as efficient.
I think their efficiency is hurting them more than anything.
I'd actually be. I wonder if there's a way we could find. I mean, other than standing watching people going into each of them, I don't know how you'd figure that out, but. I think it'd be quite interesting.
Bribed to do that
because you've got to look at it. Didn't we talked about it a couple of weeks ago? That I think Seth mentioned that they got Velocicoaster up to something like it was over 1,000 riders an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
Did they release that stat for Hagrid's?
I'm sure it was Greg Hall or someone like that said that they hit a certain a record for hourly capacity, and it was something like I can't remember it, but whatever they were pumping through. Over 1,000 an hour. I bet Hagrid's doesn't hit anywhere near that.
Well, I mean, it's also a very different coaster with different, how many cars can be on, how many bikes can be on the track at the same time. And Velocicoaster has a much longer track, so they might be able to have more, push more cars through.
But the weird thing about that is that Hagrid's is constantly moving.
Right.
Yeah.
You would think that would push through more people, even though I think Velocicoaster probably does. And I know they did reduce that number not that long ago.
No,
as well,
I think it's back up again. That initial check
to its original record.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Okay.
Is it downtime that slows down Hagrid's? I mean, there's pauses almost every time you're in line.
That's true. It's finicky. I don't care if it's under an hour and a half. I don't mind waiting for it.
And it's ridiculous. Agreed. It's ridiculous. An hour and a half stood in line for a 20-second ride. I won't do it.
Fun.
I won't do it. The longest I've waited for it's 55 minutes, and that was only because our oldest hadn't ridden it.
I just see it as a nice break time. I mean, yes, I'm still standing the majority of the time, but I can lean on things, and so it's I don't know. I'm just standing in the shade and I'm chilling.
I'm not sure I would do it middle of the day when it's hot, but an evening wait of an hour and 30 minutes, I'll do that, no doubt.
I have a wife that doesn't like to stand up because it causes her immense pain, so...
I understand that. That makes sense.
Anyway.
Well, and she can get a disabilities pass for that.
She doesn't like to lean on things that she doesn't feel like she needs.
I know.
Anyway,
awesome. I think this top 5 is very solid.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that overall. I was disappointed Velocicoaster wasn't number 1, but I think when you look at it at top 5, it's fairly... If you were to go to someone who's never been before and they were going for the first trip and go, what's the 5 attractions that I should hit above anything else? And you give them, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably about right.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything except for ET. I'd tell somebody to do that, but if you ask somebody who's never been to the parks, give us your top 5, I don't think it'd be in their list.
No, probably not.
I mean, but those are that and Spider-Man. Those are a couple of rides that smaller kids can do too. So those are family. It's a good family-friendly list for sure.
And I wouldn't want anyone going to Universal even for the first time to skip ET. I feel that they should do that just for historical purpose.
Well, I'm on the same page. I just don't think it would make other people's lists.
No,
it might be the only one that would be missing in our family list in that top 5.
That's what I'm saying. Sure. It'd be different if you were telling people, if they ask, what are the 5 Universal rides I should ride to get a feel of what Universal Orlando is? ET should definitely be on that list.
Yeah.
Mm. And actually, it's only 5, so it can't be that lopsided, but it leans islands because we only have the 2 Universal rides on that list, so that kind of makes sense too, I guess.
It's quite roller coaster heavy as well.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
I mean,
three out of the 5.
Where's Rip Ride, man?
Number 6. It was number 6.
Right where it should be, off the list.
Brian, do you ride Rip Ride Rocket?
No, I have many times, but not in probably 5 or 6 years because I think it's gotten worse and worse. And no, I won't ride it at all anymore. Not out of fear. I just think it's an uncomfortable, beat up ride.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's super jerky. It hurt me quite a bit. And I mean, I put up with a lot. But last time I rode it, I thought this is way too rough for what it is.
And
I wonder why, because with technology these days, coasters are so smooth and it doesn't, like, what in it makes it so jerky?
You say technology today. Michelle, you know how long that ride's been open?
Right.
It opened in 2005.
I'm saying they could have refurbished it by now.
Sorry.
I mean, it's...
I feel it's due.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably is just, and this is completely out of my league, but just how you actually architect something like that. You can refurbish it all you want, but maybe because of XY design, it just can't be as smooth as, let's say, a Velocicoaster.
Right.
With, modern day, we've learned so much from roller coasters and how we build them, and this is how you make it even better.
I just wonder if it's the car, like the way that the seats are constructed. Maybe they just need to change out the ding.
That's an interesting idea that I never considered.
You're such a bully.
You also didn't know what the Zax Pass was recently, which I found very surprising.
See,
I was not the only one that didn't know the name of that. Okay, Chris, did you know that was called the Zax Pass?
Zax Bypass.
Bypass.
Whereby?
So where you go around the side of Circus.
Evidently he doesn't.
No, because he doesn't know what you're talking about. If you go around the left side of Green Eggs and Ham, there's the 2 Zaxes. That's
I'll say by
that
the
bit
Zax
there
statues.
is, yes, the one that actually says Zax Bypass on it.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
But you didn't know that was called the Zax Bypass. Otherwise, you wouldn't say, give me context clues.
No, didn't like
because one of them was missing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I just have a brain.
Uh-huh.
Try all you like, Michelle.
Okay. Let's move on to some Producers Club birthdays.
Who wants to read them out?
Club members.
And it's birthday time again. Oh, we've got quite a few this time. Okay, we are going to kick it off June the 14th. It is the lovely Tyler Gallinana's birthday. Happy birthday, Tyler!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
And then on June the 16th, it is the beautiful Christine Burrell's birthday. Happy birthday, Christine!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Christine!
And then on June the 18th, I adore this person, sister
Me
from another
too.
mister, the beautiful, the very funny, and gives the best hugs. It's Laura Cooper's birthday. Happy birthday,
Yay.
Laura!
Happy birthday, Laura!
Feliz cumpleaños, Laura!
It's very fortuitous that you were on this episode.
I know. I feel so special right now here for my wife's birthday celebration.
Aw.
And then on June the 19th, we have very charming guy, very popular. I hear all the rumours. It is Peter Day's birthday. Happy birthday, Peter!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Peter.
And then on June the 21st, we have the gorgeous and the lovely Katie McNeil's birthday. Happy birthday, Katie!
Happy birthday, Katie!
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then, wow, I do believe this is a first for the podcast. On June the 22nd, we have quadruplets. Oh my goodness. We are going to start with the stunningly lovely and amazing Charlie Casey's birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And on the same day, it is the devastatingly captivating Tom Sartorelli's birthday. Happy birthday, Tom!
Happy birthday!
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Tom.
And also, it is the delightfully engaging and alluring Meg Flood's birthday. Happy birthday, Meg!
Happy birthday!
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
She was scratching round for superlatives at this point.
I mean, she's working hard on that.
I'm impressed.
And it is also on June the 22nd, the fantastic, the knockout, that is Graham Boyd's birthday. Happy birthday, Graham!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
And finally, on June the 25th, it is the amazing, the bewitching, the fantabulous Leslie Kish's
Wow.
birthday. Happy birthday, Leslie!
Happy birthday, Leslie!
Happy birthday, Leslie.
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Leslie.
You know, Laura shares a birthday with Paul McCartney, so I'm sure he's part of the Producers Club, right?
Yeah, no,
So how did he get left out?
Because he's not in there.
He didn't
I think he
renew
probably
this
is.
year. Yeah.
Oh, he took a year off. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I understand. Every other year for Paul.
I hope you all have amazing birthdays with cake and hugs and kisses and being spoiled and all the good stuff.
Bye, Tracy.
It was good to hear her.
It was.
Miss
Tell
you,
me about it.
Tracy.
Oh.
Wow.
Of course, if you want to get your birthday read out on the show, you can join the Producers Club. We are getting round to inductions for the coming year. There's giveaways. Be part of our yearly donation to Give Kids the World that we do every year. You get your birthday read out on the show. We've got exclusive podcasts this year. We've got some very fun ones in the works, which I'm excited to get the first one out. Obviously, with us having a trip over this year, we'll probably do some stuff there. There's the Facebook group. There's tons going on. So if you want to be part of the Cool Kids Club, the Not a Cult, email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Don't forget that double P. It's uuopproducers@gmail.com.
Sweet. All right, let's take a quick break to hear where you guys can go to book your next Universal vacation.
Man, we need a vacation.
Oh, I got this.
Whoa, that's awesome. But I was thinking something a little more adventurous.
Okay, how about this?
Yes!
And how about some relaxation from Mama?
Oh, perfect. How did you do that?
Easy. PortKey Vacations.
For your next vacation, let PortKey Vacations take away all the guesswork and stress of planning. From air and hotel to theme park tickets and everything else in between, they've got you covered. Just visit PortKeyVacations.com and touch the PortKey to get started with your free, no-obligation quote request. With just one touch, and PortKey Vacations will magically take you wherever you want to go.
Welcome back. Let's jump right into a famous bow, pick a bow bow from Taylor.
Bow. Pick a bow bow. Bow. Pick a bow bow. Bow. Pick a bow bow. Bow, pick a bow bow, baby.
Hello, UUOP. This is Taylor submitting my Bow Chicka Bow Bow. I'm repping the vegetarians today, and I tried the veggie bow. It has mushrooms kind of as the main component of the bow. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms. Don't love when the vegetarian option is just mushroom, but I wanted to try it anyway. And I was pleasantly surprised. It had a really great flavor. I thought the bow was really thick with 2 C's, really good. And yeah, overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Do think that they could add a better vegetarian option, maybe something with tofu. I feel like that would be very on theme, but that's just me. Anyway, thanks guys so much, and talk to you later. Bye.
That's a really good point. Someone who has a vegetarian upstairs that doesn't like mushrooms. Most vegetarian things are made with mushrooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm not a mushroom fan either.
I like them.
Mm.
But I know a
To
lot
be
of
honest,
people
I'm not
don't.
really a vegetable fan either. So
Can't say that, Christopher.
Pickle
Oh, my
Rick, man.
goodness.
Pickle Rick. Well, if you want to be part of Bow Pick a Bow Bow, all you got to do is record yourself eating 1, 2, 3, however many you want, and let us know what you think it is from 1 to 5, 1 being bleh, and 5 being
Oh, hell yeah.
and we will tally that up and play your recording.
I think I've got 3 left at this point, so we need some more in.
Eat more people.
Yeah.
Well,
Pick
eat
more bows.
comma people.
I was going to say, you better put a comment there. It's a
Yeah,
little
put a
confusing.
comma.
Eat more people.
Comma people.
Boiling green and all. I mean,
I don't think
Great.
they do a cannibal bow, do they?
Chris, did you tell us where to send those into?
I don't think he did he? Because he can never remember.
No, I remember. I remember. Send it over. Send it to podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Woohoo!
Oh, yes.
It only took 7 years or 2 years, whatever it is.
Good job. So proud. All right. So let's hop into the meat of the episode. As we have Brian on as our guest host for this week, we thought we'd cover his favorite attraction. So here's the complete guide to Fast and Furious Supercharged.
All right. Picture this. It's race day, and Dom Toretto is getting geared up for his next round. I don't know why anybody challenges him. After all, when he races, he wins. And when he wins, we party. What does that mean?
Oh my God. I've never known the story for this attraction, by the way, but apparently
I
this
know
is
it has a story. Dom and the crew are known for throwing the best after parties at Sullivan's Garage, and you just so happen to receive an exclusive invite. And because you're basically VIP, you're going to be riding there in style.
So we're gonna have to talk about the after party. There isn't one, is there?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just a quick blip while you get to the unloading dock.
You get to watch other people partying, but you got to go home.
That's so weird.
If they gave out shots on this ride, it would definitely improve slightly.
Look, let me talk about my favorite part of this attraction, because it might be horrible, but there are parts of it I genuinely do like. And of course, that's the queue. So you start out by walking into an unassuming warehouse. I mean, it's in a theme park, but whatever. But the party starts as soon as you enter Dom's garage. See, I'm going to be British. It's a garage. You're greeted with several of the crew's best cars, tools, and of course, the music. I mean, the music's pretty awesome in there, to be fair, which is straight out of the Fast and Furious film soundtracks. Next, you'll meet Pat and Jamie, who are the best part of Tej's crew. Let's be honest, I love those pre-shows. They are so awesome. And even though they're exactly the same each time, each team member I've seen do it, put their own spin on it, it feels different every time.
Oh, yeah.
Pat gets us hyped up, and Tej calls to let us know that our party bus is ready. But as soon as we run into Jamie, Dom and Hobbs call to tell us that Owen Shaw is hot on our trail and we need to be careful. I mean, why? We're not doing anything.
Right.
I'm just going to a party.
To be fair, we're all friends now, so in the latest movies, but yeah.
I hadn't really realized until the last time we were there with my sister Jamie and her boyfriend Pat how brilliant it was that they picked androgynous names for the two people, Pat and Jamie. And we had such a good time bantering with the Pat and Jamie, like, but I'm Pat, but I'm Jamie. It was a good time.
So the ride, right? The actual thing you're there for. So the party will go on, even with bad guys after us. So get ready to roll out in custom party buses, courtesy of Tej. But with a high-value witness on board, what could really go wrong?
I mean, where did that element come from even?
Right?
It's, just to be a fly on the wall while they're pitching this is just fantastic. Well, I'm glad you asked. As expected, Owen Shaw shows up uninvited to crash the festivities. But lucky for us, the whole family is out to protect us. Letty and Roman will use their turbo tow trucks to really get things moving. Dear God. And we just might have to jump a bridge that's under construction. Ride or die, remember? Prepare to race through the streets while dodging Shaw, attack drones, not a helicopter, and of course, the never-ending traffic on the San Francisco freeway.
Ride or die, they might not want to put in there because die might be a valid option.
I mean, we're jumping, so we're on the highway, right? And the highway just goes to an unfinished highway. Like,
hang on,
here.
Chris. Have you watched Speed? Apparently, it happens a lot.
Yeah, but no.
It worked for Speed. It can work for Fast and Furious.
I mean, they went to space in a Beretta, so they can do anything.
The interesting thing is, right, so I remember doing Kong, speaking of my second favourite attraction, with our oldest for the first time when we came over in September last year. And when you lock into that 3D tunnel and you're bombing along when the raptors are chasing you, I turned around to him and I went, by the way, just so you know, we're not moving right now. And it kind of blew his mind because he couldn't, like, it does genuinely feel like you're moving at that point. In Fast and Furious, in the same point, it really doesn't.
No.
It just feels like you're bouncing.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I hate I understand why we do it. We all do it. Compare Kong and Fast and Furious because
they're the same ride system.
They're incredibly similar. Execution-wise, they are miles apart.
No, they're the exact same ride system. So at that point, it's the exact same ride system, and one feels real and one doesn't. I don't understand why.
Right.
And the other thing too, and I always say this about this, we've talked about this before, but when you're going through the tunnel, that stop and start of the bus is so distracting.
Yes.
Like it's just lights going by. You're stopped. You're stopped, and then you get to the quote end of the tunnel, and you feel the bump of the bus starting to move again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You do. Yeah,
it's so bad.
Yes,
it
is.
What's bad?
The ride so bad.
The execution of that whole moving when you're not moving or moving faster than you're actually moving was executed so much better in earthquake/disaster, whatever. And that was with like old technology.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be a question with Fast and Furious.
So weird, isn't it? Like
Is it this bad in Hollywood?
It's part of the tram tour, so it's completely different, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, it follows some of the same story. I don't think. Well, they do get the little pre-party, but you're on an actual tram that gets connected to like this shaking
rather than a ride
system.
vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the Musion technology on that when the truck comes up at the beginning is still pretty cool. Like there's some good elements to it. It's just the overall execution of it's terrible. And as we've kind of talked, when you've got virtually the same ride in the park next door that is so much better, it's awful.
And the other thing there is like you guys mentioned it earlier, the execution, right? But the execution of telling you a story.
Yeah.
How many people ride this and have zero clue what's going on? Like it doesn't do a good job of telling you a story.
No.
Exactly, from a point of view, like for me, a theme park attraction based on an IP has to work if you don't know that IP. So you go into Kong, and by going through that queue and slowly getting onto the attraction and then the attraction itself, you are immersed in it, whether you know who Kong is or not. This, if you've never seen any of those films, not a clue.
Full disclosure, when I first rode this ride, I had never seen a Fast and Furious movie ever. And now I've seen a few, and I kind of wish I could go back and not see any ever. But
I mean, I don't mind them. I've only seen about 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and it's been a long time, but the ride is just awful.
Yeah, it is.
I think the ride has ruined the movies for me, honestly.
Really?
Well, like, let's talk about the party girls in the beginning. Like, what the?
Hey, leave the party girls alone, all right?
This is supposed to be like some big jamming party that we're going to, and it's like, how many people are there?
Oh, that's just the beginning of it.
It looks like you're in this huge, like they're in this huge room, and there's just like a little group of people in the middle of it.
That's the thing. That's not the party.
Yeah, the party's supposed to be at the end.
The party's after you jump an unfinished bridge and slam into a construction warehouse. That's when the party starts.
So what is that, the pre-party?
Yeah, you're just getting like together. And that's the thing that confused the hell out of me when I first
that
wrote
makes
this.
no sense.
Because I'm like, were we at the party? Why did we leave the party? And then
there is no party.
No, at the end is the party, because I think they say something over the loudspeaker.
Welcome to the party, pal. Oh no, that's
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Die Hard. I do like the fact that The Rock managed to get a kind of adult joke in there when the agent pulls his gun out and he's like, "Yeah, but mine's bigger than yours."
Yeah.
Like, all right.
That's what she said.
Perfect.
Move it along, Cookie Puss.
That's great. All right, let's talk about some logistics here. So the height requirement for this is 40 inches or 102 centimeters. Children under 48 inches or 122 centimeters require supervising companion. Child swap is available upon request. I recommend you use it for those skimpy club tire ladies.
Get away.
Are they in? Wait, are they in child swap? I'm confused.
Well, you have that stroller, Brian.
Oh my God. Okay. Universal Express Pass is also available. Mature themes are present because of that early 2000s club attire. And I do have to say, the first time I took Chris on it, she was like, Mama, what is happening?
That wasn't over the attire. That was over the plot lines, I promise.
It was all of it. She was just so confused.
Yeah.
I had the best ride of it when I took Raymond on it the first time. Our oldest, because Tracy was like, I'm going back to the hotel. I am not riding that thing. So we get through the queue, do the 2 pre-shows, just about to board, and it breaks down. So they gave us 2 of the yellow express passes and kicked us out the line. I was like, perfect.
Best use of that ride.
Absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think we used it to ride Men in Black or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Something better than that. And see how I've changed my tune off my initial ride on it.
Our initial ride on it was when it was in previews, and we spent the whole day waiting on it to like pop up for it so we could go ride it, like in the
Oh
app.
God, what a waste.
Oh man! But when it did, it was late in the evening, and we were a few sheets in at that point, and we rushed over and had the best time.
Yep.
Riding it for our first time.
See?
Like, we even bought a beer koozie that night. It was
Yep.
great, and it was never fun again.
Yeah, we did exactly the same. And so imagine the weekender, Brian, but every person on the bus, apart from 3 people at the back, are all part of the weekender.
Sounds a blast.
It was
Sounds like a
amazing.
perfect time.
It really was. But it tainted my whole opinion of it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I get it. Think you have what it takes to ride with a family? Use the official Universal Orlando Resort app to access the Supercharged network. Navigate to the Fast and Furious Supercharged attraction page and click on the option under Universal Play. Learn more about the crew, the cars, and compete in fast trivia. And that's capital F fast trivia, not like lightning round Speedia trivia, while you wait in line. You might even see your name on the in-app leaderboard.
Probably because nobody else is doing it.
Do you know if they still do it? Because, I mean, we used to do it. It was kind of fun, but last time we were there, I didn't see any references to it in line whatsoever.
No idea.
Yeah, I do not use it. I do see a bunch of... I have seen other people, like kids playing. Last time we rode it, but that was 6 months ago, maybe.
They're making dinner reservations, not playing trivia, Chris.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just going to have a look.
It's still there in the app.
There you go then.
Wow.
Can you play from
Yep,
home?
it's there.
Let's see.
I bet it'd be easy to get your name on the leaderboard these days.
Exactly, because no one else is doing it. There's Brian doing now, shamelessly plugging his podcast on there.
Dude, if we can do it remotely, I'm going to be playing all the time. You want?
Universal
This is
Family
leader right here.
Podcaster, number
Yeah,
1.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's there.
Universal Family Podcast, episode 52, out now. That's going to be the leader all night.
Just do it every week and change it to episode 53 is out now.
The next 4 slots are just the URL to it. You know, all those character limits, but just split it up.
I'll have to edit that out.
You should.
No, it's locked.
You probably can only do it when you're in the
it's
park.
locked out. It says this feature is reserved for our guests currently in the Universal Orlando Resort theme parks.
Of course.
I wonder if that's VPN based or geographic based. I'm curious.
It's not like
Maybe
there's not
connected
apps
to their
out there.
internet.
No, you don't. You can just trick the app to say where you're at. A buddy of mine does it for Pokemon Go all the time.
Yep, that's what
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, he goes everywhere from his house.
Brilliant. Does that not defeat the object of the game?
Oh, 100%. But he's also a grown man who has no time to walk around
Fair
anywhere.
enough.
So playing Pokemon Go, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, cool. Here's some fast facts. The cars you see in the queue were used in the franchise.
There are tons of nods in the building to the former disaster and Beetlejuice's graveyard review attractions.
These are things I didn't know, so I would actually like
Really?
to know what these are. And this will get me back into this ride because I want to know what they are.
So there's a Beetlejuice figure somewhere on a shelf. There is a set of like electrical levers, and it's like one's got, let me see if I can get this right. So it's EQ and then a date. I think it's 1990, and that one's off.
Opening for the it's
Then
sweet.
there's the middle one's got a D exclamation mark and whatever the day that it's the closing date. So whenever disaster closed, and that one's off, and then the last one's FF with 2000 and whatever it is, and that one's on.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
so
cool.
There's like a load of keys on the wall or something, and there's deeds to cars, and there's like Arthur Weasley's and Doc's Back to the Future one and stuff like that. There's an absolute ton of them in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that might actually make me go in the ride.
Yeah.
No, it's going to make me go through the line again, but I will ditch before I get on the ride.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good plan, actually.
And there's also a, on like the little tool chest, it has a sticker that says, "This car runs on Beetlejuice."
Oh, nice.
Aw.
Yeah,
Huge.
I love it. I think
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the one that's got the most references to other things in than anything else. It's so cool.
Oh, I remember when it first opened, like that was the thing everybody
Yes.
was doing, was posting on the pass holder page.
Yep.
Like, did you see this? Did you see that? And it's a huge list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Fast and Furious Supercharged at Universal Orlando Resort is the first that we see of Mia and Tej. The Universal Studios Hollywood version of the ride in the studio tour only has Dom, Letty, Hobbs, and Roman.
And the attraction is largely based around Fast and Furious 6, where Owen Shaw is the main antagonist. 2 vehicles were custom built just for this attraction, Lefty's Turbo Truck and the Vision Beats Video Truck. Is the Vision Beats supposed to be, were they like hoping for like a Beats Audio promotion or something?
I have no idea.
Like, were they looking for an endorsement?
Who knows?
I have no clue. Man. So once you make it back safely to the loading docks and Tej gives you permission to act a fool, as the kids say, it's time to go. But the party doesn't have to end there.
But it does.
The custom gear shop has everything that you need to make it home with you. There's Fast and Furious merch, miniature car models, and you can even get your own, well, custom gear. There's shirts, shoes, hats, and more that you can have custom spray painted.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't even mention like the life-size Toretto that's in there.
Is it still there?
That's the best part.
You know, again, how bad this attraction is when your CEO comes out and goes, yeah, we made a mistake with this. And the question I need to ask, so when this opened, what's his face was there, wasn't he? I can't even, my brain is scat. What's he called?
Man.
The main man, what's he called? Vin
Vincent
Diesel. Right, so Vin Diesel was there. I think, God, I can't remember names anymore. I'm getting bad in my old age. What's she called?
Letty?
Yeah, no, the other one.
Oh,
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Michelle
Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez, yeah.
So they were there when it opened. How did they feel when they rode this for the first time? Did they get off and look at each other and go, what the was that?
Surely.
Probably behind the scenes. Yes, that's exactly what they said.
Like if they'd been in the parks all day and ridden everything else at Universal Orlando and then we're going, no, we're going to get on your ride. And they go, what the was that?
Well, to be fair, they did ride the one in Hollywood
I mean,
already.
that's true, but when you'd expect it to take it to another level and it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That cast from that movie's also kind of delusional because if you watch like interviews that they talk about, like the last Fast that came out talking how they should win an Oscar and stuff like that. There's some kind of disassociation from reality, and I love those movies. It's not Oscar worthy.
No.
It's called like trash movies that you watch to like feed this weird part of your brain.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
No nonsense, like just complete nonsense action films. Everyone loves those.
Dispel reality and you'll enjoy Fast and Furious.
They don't make those films much anymore. Like they are, it's like when Expendables came out, it was kind of aiming at that stuff that we grew up with, all the Van Damme, like ridiculous action movies of like the late 80s, early 90s. And that's what these are, because you don't see them anymore.
No. And you have to have that same mindset, like with Expendables, because I honestly hated Expendables when it came out. And then my buddy's like, just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, but you know, I feel Bullet Train falls into that category.
No, Bullet Train is amazing.
I think it is too. No, that's my point. Is I think it falls into the category of amazing action brain candy movie, but it is so much better than the movies we're talking about right now.
Yes, without a doubt.
Bullet Train.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. It's way better.
Tracy watched it on the plane on the way over to Korea, so she was like, sorry, I had to watch it because there was nothing else. I'm like, right, I'm watching it this weekend. It's so good.
Bullet Train is to Fast and Furious as Kong is to Fast and Furious. Let's put it that way.
I gotta convince Alexa to watch it
with
me
it's
tonight.
So good.
Great.
It's on
no one's going to be
Netflix.
Disappointed.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
I love how little we care about Fast and Furious. We're talking about Bullet Train.
I know.
It would be a much better ride.
Oh my God, that would actually work
maybe that's
so
the layover.
well. That would be amazing.
I don't think it's a Universal IP, unfortunately.
Such a shame because that would actually work really well as an attraction.
You're right. It'd be a good re-theme right there.
It really would.
So our episode about Fast and Furious ends on how to retheme Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, that is the end of the podcast, and that means it's time for a Universal Is. This one comes from our guest host, Brian.
Ooh.
We'd hope you're ready. We'd like you to get involved as well, so just let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less, and send them to podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Hang on, before we get in there, Brian, please plug your podcast, because I haven't given you a chance to at this point.
Oh, I mean, you really don't have to. It's the Universal Family Podcast. Tune in anytime you'd like.
I love how
We're
he says you
always
really
there.
don't have to and then continues to plug it.
I wasn't going to go on a speech, you know. I mean,
Gosh.
Check the Supercharged Network scoreboard. You'll find more information.
I'll plug it in the next episode. It'll be fine.
You won't, not the next one.
Or whatever it is.
This is your only one you get none. The next
Fine.
one's all business.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So be sure to check out Brian's podcast. It's awesome. His
Thank
whole
you.
family's awesome.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Dan told me last night that I could officially come in here on as an ambassador for the Universal Family Podcast, but all opinions expressed are mine solely and not that of the complete family. I should have said that at the top of the episode.
We'll add that blip in there again.
Yes. All right. So, Brian, for this episode, it's over to you.
I definitely don't need 3 words. Universal is awesome.
All right. That was fun. Catch you next time.
That was another episode of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and email Michelle at portkeyvacations.net to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6, Call Off the Marines, we're coming home.